And you got people running for office who will say something one day, and the fact check will come to him and tell him that it was an error, and he'll say the same thing the next day. That's not the type of leader that I would want. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not even into that. But one goddamn thing for sure, I almost cussed. I'm not going to vote for a lying joker. I'm not. The lies been told about us, on us, all kinds of ways. So I know what it means to lie. But back to the people who suffered a condition. We have a common suffering. It was on the slave ship. But before I get to the slave ship, you got economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war and counter-war. Now it could be others, but we are subject in this country under all of them by the white supremacists. Oh no, I'm not. Yes, you are. If you get married, where you go? Well, I can get married out, but I tell you what, when they adjudicate, when the estate is cleared, you're going to go by the laws of this land. Well, we on the census now. We black. Well, they done changed that so many times. And what is a Pacific Islander, by the way, on the census? Who is that? See, they play games with our head. We talk about what we want to be on the census, but who make the choice? If you're not making the choice, then someone else is. This is simple stuff that we need to get with in order to get out of the condition that we're in. How can we expect our children to go forward when we turn them over to someone else to teach them? Now let's watch this. Do you think that if I was a Caucasian male, or if that sister was a Caucasian female, and I turned my grandson into my class or her class, and they're teaching them, right? Now my grandson, he's going, and this is pretty much accurate, he's 8 years old, he's going in the 90th percentile nationwide in his grade. Do you think his teacher is happy about that when her son is barely making it? Now, is she going to teach him to compete with her son? Would you? Let's be honest. Now, we should take every child the same. But anytime you got a guy running for president talking about 47% and everything else, they're losers and all of this, if you got that type of leadership and they say the race is close, so I'm not going to get on him, hey, you got a lot of people going to vote for this guy, which think the same way. And they're teachers. And they teach your children. I'm going to ask you another quick question. Have you ever in your life walked into a teacher to come to you and say, you know, I got fired for not doing my job? I never have. I've never had a teacher come and say I got fired for not doing my job. It may be for stealing or something else, but it wasn't for not doing my job. They get there, they get tenure. Once they get tenure, it's a slow roll for retirement. I'm going to build it as big as I can. And your children suffer. That's right. I'm going to tell you how they suffer. There was a Caucasian-looking man in Louisiana named Plessy. And Plessy bought a ticket to ride the public transportation. At that time, they had institutional slavery. I've been in the back of the bus as a little boy. And sometimes they pulled the curtain. I guess they didn't want to see us. Whatever the reason, there was segregation as far as public accommodations, and you all are aware of that. They pulled Plessy off the transit system because someone said that he was not Caucasian. He looked it. There's a lot of that. You've been around Caucasian that you think are Caucasian. At the time, if you had one drop of so-called Negro blood, whatever that is, you was not Caucasian. That's just the way it was. Yes, so they knew in Louisiana, there was a lot of it in Louisiana, Mississippi, where I'm from. They knew he was not Caucasian, so they pulled him off. So he took it to court. It got all the way to the Supreme Court. When it got to the Supreme Court, it was Plessy versus Ferguson. Ferguson won. They come out of that in public accommodations and applied it to education. Separate but equal. Plessy versus Ferguson. Separate but equal. They put it into education. It stayed there until 1954. Brown versus Supreme Court. Right? Which said you could not discriminate for educational purposes on the basis of color. And they said you do it with all deliberate speed. Well, they put it in reverse. It was a long time before they start to integrate the schools. The law, 1963, the Civil Rights Bill was another one. They still didn't do it. So, they had to come with a plan to get racist school districts that didn't want to accept African Americans into their schools, their public school, by busing or otherwise. They had to come with a deal. Now I want to tell you this. The act to get integration, the law is actually a compromise. It's a compromise. And when you compromise, you cut a deal. That's what a compromise is. You get together with the opposition and you have a plan. Okay, we want to integrate. You are not doing it. You have not done it. So now, how are we going to get this done? So, to get them to drop their resistance of integrating black schools in the district, once they got them to do it, to accept the black child, they had them evaluated by their white school psychiatrists. Watch this. I told you all earlier. They don't change nothing. They change the name of it. The deal is the same. Don't think you have arrived. The only thing that we have arrived at is that we have been taught superior knowledge that lasts at least 1,000 years, if you're worried about how long Enoch and all them lived, and all of them. We have knowledge that's going to go into the future. And we sitting back waiting on a miracle to come down or somebody to return from the sky to change some. Birds got better sense than that. If you don't believe it, check the birds. In the morning, if it's not too cold, they will get up. They'll sit on the fence and they'll fly off. You think they're just exercising. But you know what those birds are doing? They're solving problems. Bird problems. They have to eat. Okay, they're solving bird problems and they're good at it. Now, I've watched birds. And I haven't seen them wait for God, Jesus, anybody else to come down and get that worm out of the ground. Maybe it's me. I didn't say I was, I didn't say I was the smartest knife in the drawer. But I have never seen that happen. Now, bird sense and ant sense, and God gave us the crown of creation with the ability to reason and figure things out. You would think that by now, after all the teachers that we have, look, we come through, see, Garvey, 15 millions without TV, without radio, well, he had radio, without the internet and cell phones.